What's poppin' and welcome to Pop Byte number 3. Of course, this is the minisode for Popcorn with Cholo Sediaren, and joining me today is a good friend of the podcast and graphic designer, Kevin. Let's welcome him to the show, guys. Clapping.
Hey everyone.
So, he's a graphic designer, as I mentioned, and he actually made the collaterals for this podcast. So, thank you so much, Kevin.
You're welcome, Cholo.
We
I
have
to call
been-
you a friend for so long. So.
And that's shade for some people who might not be listening to this. Hopefully not. But yeah, if you've seen our Instagram and Twitter and everything, all the graphics he made for me, so I'm really happy. But anyway, he's one of my good friends that I share a lot of pop culture interests with. So I'm happy he's finally here on the show. Yun. And this is kind of like a graveyard shift, and it's becoming a thing because the last two pop bites we released were kind of recorded really late also.
Yeah. As we're recording this, it's already 12:48 a.m. on a Saturday.
Sorry, Mom. It's pretty late, but we have to be with the news and just air out our opinions on the things that just came out today. So, our main topic for this minisode is Taylor Swift's new single, You Need to Calm Down, The Black Sheep, latest film, Clarita, and Men in Black International. So we're just gonna have a rundown on our thoughts on those three things. So to begin, we have a new Taylor Swift song. We
Yay!
haven't been able to talk about Taylor Swift that much on this podcast aside from that one mention of her in that Jonas Brothers episode. So this is the moment that I have been waiting for because I love Taylor Swift so much. And she just released a new single like a few hours ago. Maybe like 12 hours ago.
It was actually at 12 noon.
And before that, she actually had an IG live where she announced all the details.
Yeah, which I actually saw. I actually woke up at 5 a.m. just to watch it.
That's pretty intense. I was asleep because work is very tiring. But anyway,
I was awake because of anxiety attacks.
I heard even Lindsay Lohan was on that live stream saying, "Please notice me, Taylor." I don't even know why.
Yeah, don't you have like a hotel to run in Greece or something? A hotel club thing?
Mykonos is very iconic for Lindsay Lohan. Anyway, going to the song. So the song is called You Need to Calm Down. And
which was actually hidden in the video if you've seen it so many times. Like, that's the French dialogue with Brandon Urie.
And by video, he means the MIB video, which was released in April 20... on
the same
April
day as
26th.
Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Which he even talked about on Ellen.
And our very first Popcorn episode. So anyway, yun, she did say, Je suis calme. And that was obviously an Easter egg. And Taylor's actually into Easter eggs already right now as more than she has ever been, and I think fans will be like delighted to watch videos again and again just to see the Easter eggs. And there was actually a whole cover feature for Taylor's Easter eggs and the upcoming album on Entertainment Weekly, which I haven't really read yet, but thank you to Ate Bamba, my cousin from the US, who brought me that issue. I will be reading that very soon. And back to the song, I loved it.
Yeah,
it
same
is
here.
a yes.
Yeah, like when I first looked at the lyrics on Genius or wherever, like I was pretty sure that maybe it's because the way my mind works. Like I felt like it's an anti-Trump shade anthem.
Yeah, what I got from it was that it's very not just Trump but anti-hater. Like I mean,
and
especially
anti-homophobia.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like after everything Taylor has gone through in the past 3 years, 6 years since 1989 came out, this is just like an anthem, maybe like an emotional foil to Look What You Made Me Do, because it's more, pun intended, calm than that Look What You Made Me Do song, right?
Yeah, I still enjoy Look What You Made Me Do enough to make it my ringtone though.
I agree. That wasn't really the best from Reputation for sure, but it was also a bop, and I don't mind listening. And like
that's my bad boy anthem.
Yeah. No, wrong singer. Anyway, that's more about the song.
Oh yeah, and also I'm gonna have to mention, if you hear the second verse, it's not actually the word GLAD, it's the organization GLAD, and it's very much punctuated by the lyric video you would see on YouTube. The music video will be coming on Monday, by the way, so...
And by Monday, he means June 17th. So if you're listening to this from the future, then it's already up. Anyway,
As we're recording
Taylor
this.
has been pretty vocal about LGBT support in the recent years.
Yeah.
And more so this year with asking a senator to actually pass a bill
The Equality Act in the
exactly.
States.
So good for you, Maring Taylor. But aside from the song itself that was released and the music video that will be released, which for sure will be having more Easter eggs, Taylor also announced more details about TS7, which is now known as Lover.
Which was hinted on the Me video as well in the background. You'll see a neon sign that says Lover, and she did say at one point, you see it once and you hear it twice. So...
And that album is coming out on August 23, which is again an Easter egg because Taylor Swift loves the number 13.
8 plus 2 plus 10 equals 10, and then plus 3 equals 13.
And she is obsessed with it. So aside from the album details that it's named Lover and it's coming out on August 23rd, which is again an Easter egg, other details that have been announced is that there are going to be 18 tracks and that there will be 4 versions of the deluxe edition that will be released in Target. So I think Kevin knows more about the track details, but there haven't been any other track details announced aside from Me and You Need to Calm Down.
I mean, like it has not. Yeah, really, nothing has been released yet. But then maybe in the coming weeks.
I think there's something about Stella McCartney.
Yeah. So also in the live stream, she also announced that Stella McCartney actually heard the album in full before everyone else, and then based on the songs, apparently Stella McCartney will work with Taylor on a collection of sorts. Maybe it's either a fashion item or a full-on collection inspired by the album.
And speaking of the album, can we just talk about the album design? I mean, the album cover for a bit, because that just seems like it's a very fan-made. Well, I think it's from an Instagram photographer, correct?
Yeah. So it's from Instagram user @Valeria123. I forgot the name.
I'm not familiar with her, but it's. I mean, I feel like Taylor hasn't been one of the stronger artists when it comes to album art. So I'm not surprised this is what we're coming up with the album Lover. I mean, I'm still very excited for it, but at this point, I don't really know what she's cooking up with the whole album, because Me and Please Calm Down are pretty good songs, but not as cohesive as I wanted it to be so far. I mean, compared to 1989 and Reputation, which had their distinct sounds, it just didn't really feel very cohesive. Yeah. But it's just 2 songs from the 18-track album, and we don't know what else she'll come up with. But so far, it sounds very bubblegum pop without really any theme, aside from the fact that she said that this will be about love, and there's a lot of themes of romance in different forms in this album.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so by the way, the name of the artist is Valeria Rocha, and then she's actually well known for her collages of celebrities.
Okay. Oh, she even made Cool, apparently, and took a photo of Beverly from upcoming It sequel this year. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I think there's something about merch that Taylor's been... I mean, not just Taylor, but a lot of artists have been churning out lately.
Yeah, because they want to place a spot in the Billboard charts lately.
Which has been difficult because CDs aren't really a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's more... Yeah, because we're in the age of streaming, obviously. And then hip-hop has been leading the streaming wars a lot lately. Although, there have been some exceptions, like, one of them being Sucker being number 1. But then, like, mostly as I would say, right now, the chart topper at Billboard is, of course, Old Town Road by Lil Nas X.
Wow, it's still the chart topper at this point?
Yeah, from what I know. I mean, that's the reason why Me ended up being at number 2.
And I mean, as Kevin was telling me earlier, a lot of the artists right now, which I also noticed, have been
Bundling.
bundling their merch online with digital copies of the CD. And Taylor just announced that there will be 4 versions nga of the album in Target. I mean, Reputation had 2, and I actually bought both. And that means that she's just really milking it for the sales. Which is a good strategy, I must say.
Yeah. But not for the casual fans, like for the more hardcore.
Yeah, so sorry, because my wallet will die again for more versions of this album. So for me, You Need to Calm Down, Taylor Swift, is a yes. The song is a bop. I can relate to it whenever I feel like I have haters. I probably don't have haters, but I don't know. Is it a yes for you?
Of course, it's a yes, and like it. And also, it really pretty much confirms how at one point Taylor did say that the album was gonna contain some political undertones. So,
And
I think
that's
to
good. She
see-
needs to speak up more about politics.
especially in 2019, when
Exactly.
every day is like, if you watch CNN or Rappler or whatever, then yeah, you know.
Yeah. I mean, Taylor has the power, and it seems like that power is working towards positive change. And
Of
if
course.
Kevin is a friend of the podcast, then, and if you listen to this podcast, then you know who the enemy of the podcast is. And that is the evils of the world. So anyway, we will go to our next topic for this pop bite, and that is the latest movie from Black Sheep called Clarita. So this is a horror movie, and
We love horror movies.
yeah, Kevin and I traditionally just watch pretty much all horror movies together if we can.
Yeah, both good and bad.
And I don't know when this started, but it's been a thing, and we're just keeping
It alive.
and we're just keeping the tradition alive. And today, whether it's a Filipino horror film or an American film or anything horror, it's just our favorite pastime
Yeah.
for movies. So anyway, Clarita is produced by Black Sheep, which is ABS-CBN Films.
Sort of
indie arm, and it's starring Jodi Sta, Ricky Davao, Aaron Villaflor, Yayo Aguila is also there. Hi Tita Yayo if you're listening to this. And it is directed by Derek Cabrido. So let's talk about the plot first. It's actually set in the 1950 era, so it's a period piece, and it did that pretty well, like compared to Quezon's Game, I think, which I watched a few weeks ago, and it's still in cinemas, and you should watch it if you can. It's a really good story. Anyway, back to Clarita. The whole story just revolves around the titular character, who is Clarita, played by Jodi Sta, because she has been inhabited by demons, and people are like, is it a mental illness of like multiple personality disorder, like in Split, probably, or is it really demons? Apparently, this movie is even inspired by true events, so I'm not so sure if it's actually multiple personality disorder in real life or how much creative freedom they took in making this into a horror movie.
I think it's dissociative identity disorder, as we call it now.
Yes, as revealed to in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So anyway, pretty much that's pretty much it. The characters revolving around the exorcism, quote unquote, of Clarita are just trying to figure out how to get the demons out of her. And the demons end up being demons for those characters as well, eventually, as with any exorcism movie. So, for me, exorcism movies are pretty passe at this point, unless you think of some super clever way of mixing it up and bringing something new into the picture. And this one shows, because I didn't really get much out of it. Like in 2019 horror, I'm trying to find something more substantial in horror movies now, because we've had Get Out and Hereditary and a lot more horror movies that have more. I mean, I think it's not just 2019 in this era, but there have been a lot more horror movies that are trying to say something beneath the horrors that are shown through the different monsters or demons or anything.
Okay, so I very much agree that exorcism movies are like, I'm just so tired of exorcism movies, like, and also I would say that it didn't reinvent it, but I do like the part that they focus on individual character dynamics, like character, backstories and all that. Like, although I just wish that, while I am glad that the title character's backstory was well formed enough, and also I guess also Ricky Davau's character, and I think also Aaron's character is.
Yeah, but for Aaron Villaflor, I didn't really like appreciate his acting in this film in particular.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think Aaron's okay. Jodi and Ricky were great.
I mean, Jodi was just inspired, stellar. I mean, we know she is a versatile actress, and she really proves that in this film because she has to play.
Both of them had more impact.
Yeah, but for me, Jodi was just like, yes, queen.
Yeah. Aaron
get that demon inside of you and scare us all.
Yeah, very much true. Yeah, and then so also Aaron kind of half disappeared for me, like, and also what's her name?
Eula Mulak, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't get much from her character. I didn't get much from her performance.
I think she probably is one of the new Star Magic artists. I'm not quite sure about that, but she's a new actress and she's being introduced in this movie, so I'm not really surprised.
And then, so I guess, if we're gonna go for the final verdict now, then I guess I'll just have to say sacks. And the kind of sacks I would say is like a sack of potatoes, where it's like starchy and unless of course you add salt and then French fries. So
that's good That's a good kind of potato. But for me, my verdict is that this is also a sax. Well, this has a really good cinematography and it's really well done, but the story just didn't do it for me. But yun nga, Jodi Santa Maria was just really good. Ang galing lang talaga. And yun nga, by the way, Alyssa Mulak pala, hindi Eula Mulak. I don't know where I got Eula. Maybe because Eula Valdez or something.
And also, I'm gonna have to point out, I very much agree that the cinematography looks very low-key for a horror movie. Yes, at least they didn't, overdo the darkness, because that's a common mistake when you're trying to do low-key. Like, it shouldn't be too dark, it shouldn't be too bright, unless, of course, you're Midsommar, which I'm not sure when it's gonna be released here.
Hopefully, it will be released here in the Philippines, but yun nga, I haven't seen a horror movie this well done, aside from Quaresma, which we also watched a month ago.
Yeah.
So, that was really good. I mean, as in that aspect, it was great. I just wish I got something more out of it. So, that is a sax for me. So, now we are moving forward to our next mini movie review, and this is for Men in Black International, starring Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, Emma Thompson, they're not related, and Liam Neeson. And this is directed by F. Gary Gray. So, what did you think? Men in Black for me is really associated with my childhood, with the cartoons and the first movies. And this time around, they're trying to bring back the MIB for a new generation, I guess, in 2019. And they're changing it up with a woman in black, which is Agent M, who is played by Tessa Thompson, and she is partnered with Agent H, played by Chris Hemsworth.
Her Thor co-star.
Yes, that's a fun bit in this movie that both of them are actually also partners in Thor Ragnarok as Thor and Valkyrie, who is now the Queen of Asgard, or King of Asgard, however you'd like to see it. But at this point, I haven't really even seen Men in Black 3. I don't know if I should or not. I'll probably get to that sometime soon. So I just came into this just wanting to see a new take on Men in Black. And it was fine. It's a popcorn movie. The plot was that Agent M is someone who's seen the Men in Black in action in her childhood, and she wasn't neuralized, or that's what they call the light sticks that make you forget that you saw aliens.
Reminds you of Fairly Odd Parents. Forget the sin.
I don't remember that, but yeah. So she is assigned. She actually gets into the Men in Black, and Emma Thompson is her superior, Agent O, or I don't know what they call her, High O, since Liam Neeson is High T. So she's assigned to London, and she gets dragged into this case with Agent H, and they try to solve it together. And watch the movie for yourselves to see what else happens. What do you have to say about the whole plot?
Okay, so wait, full disclosure, I haven't seen the first two, but I did watch was the third one the one with
Josh Brolin?
Yeah.
Yes, that was the one.
That was the only thing I've seen of Men in Black.
So, collectively, we have seen all the Men in Black films.
Yeah, so I felt like the plot structure is, if you're gonna put it down to the basics, tear it down to the basics, rather, it's very familiar.
Yeah, basic.
Yeah, it's a very familiar format. Although that was only made fresh by by Tessa Thompson's edition.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Even it just felt very like skeletal, like you've seen it already.
Yeah.
In a sort of blockbuster sense na, okay, I can predict that this person will do this and this person will do this.
And also another thing is that their dynamics not like the good cop bad cop that I feel like the first two, or the first three rather, had, but like they had like a positive negative sort of thing, but then like it's more downplayed here on International,
which is also a welcome change,
yeah,
because there weren't any female agents as featured as a lead role in the Men in Black franchise, and Tessa Thompson is the first woman. So there's been this debate: why is it still called Men in Black, not Women in Black, which is also
or
mentioned.
People in Black.
Yeah, and that's also mentioned within the movie. And Emma Thompson, Agent O, says something like, "Oh, don't tell me that. I've been trying to fix it." And I actually watched this short interview ni Tema, pinagmix ko yung pangalan nila, ni Tessa Thompson, being asked about why is it still Men in Black in a red carpet premiere or a press junket. And sabi niya lang na, sometimes things around us change even before the terms get to change. And that is the case with this franchise. And I pretty much agree with her. That's pretty smart on her end to say something like that. And it is true. I mean, now we live in a world where people get called them or their, and before it just used to be he or she. Yeah. So parang ganun lang din
there's
naman
also
yun.
Like Z and Zer and other pronouns as well.
Yeah, so I mean, the world is constantly changing, and eventually I feel like it's a slow change for a lot of things, but it's a welcome change that we have this kind of representation. And she's a pretty strong female character in the movie, Agent M. I really liked that they didn't really make her a weak character, in a sense na she has to like just be a foil to Chris Hemsworth or just be a love interest.
Yeah, like she's I got an aura of confidence, of intelligence, and
she brought the house down.
Yes.
And arguably, I think that was just one of the film's pros, because there wasn't much else to get from this, in my opinion. I mean, I had a good time, but it's just like any other popcorn movie. For me, it felt more like this movie would have been really progressive if it were released in 2012 in lieu of MIB 3 maybe, or it just feels very not 2010s anymore. Yeah. The kind of structure that they have.
Yeah, like audiences want more. Although, can we also talk about the special effects as well?
Yeah.
So the alien designs felt like classic MIB.
But yun nga, I'm saying it feels very dated at this point. We've seen so many things. We've seen Fantastic Beasts. What's this? We've seen Avatar. Yeah. And that's a whole experience into itself.
It very much fits for a PG audience, but then, we just seen it before already. Good point.
And can I just say, it was revealed in MIB that Ariana Grande, Elon Musk, and Childish Gambino are actually aliens. Of course, they're not aliens in real life, but, Ariana Grande!
Yeah. That's that same thought I had after watching Clarita.
Yeah, Jodi Santa Maria was actually doing a plastic tiara by speaking like plastic tiara when she said, Ariana Grande!
That was during the Mariah episode.
Yeah, so yun lang. It's just a fun bit of the movie that I actually enjoyed. It's a super small Easter egg. And, a callback to Ariana Grande's Break Free music video because she was sort of an alien there.
Like Barbarella-ish thing. Like that.
But, yeah, it was a good time. So I'm gonna call it a sax.
Yeah, also same sax as well. Like, I just can't wait to, to see what the rest of the sci-fi action space will bring, especially after Endgame.
Yeah, and it's nice seeing Chris Hemsworth also in more comedic roles. I don't think this is his best comedic role because there wasn't much coming from him that's new. As compared to like his appearance on the 2016 all-female Ghostbusters where he played a bit of a dumb character. And that was more funny to me.
A goofball, rather.
Yeah. Was he dumb or was he a goofball?
I felt more goofball vibes.
Well, I kind of got dumb vibes from that. And it's a nice thing for Chris Hemsworth because he's always, the hunk or the poggy guy.
The macho.
Yeah, and this is just pretty much relies on that in a sense to add to his comedic chops. But, yun nga, we've seen him as Fat Thor in Avengers Endgame. And that's more of what I'd like to see from Chris Hemsworth in future comedy movies that he's in.
Yeah. And I also can't wait to see more of Tessa as well.
Yeah, she's proving to be a versatile actress as well. So we hope there are more good films coming from her after this and Marvel franchise and Creed.
Yeah, more drama.
Yeah, so that is that for our Men in Black International mini review. So that is pretty much everything for our minisode today. And before we end, as always on Popcorn, we have the Pop Stop, and this is the mini Pop Stop. So Kevin will give you his recommendations for the week.
Okay, so the last thing I've seen on Netflix is a 4-part miniseries by Ava DuVernay called When They See Us, and when I saw it, I felt like...
When you saw it.
Yeah, good one. So after I finished watching all 4 episodes, or rather during the entire time, I just felt really angry. And although it did lead to a satisfying conclusion, it's just that especially if you watch the Oprah Winfrey hosted after series.
Is it per episode or no, for just the whole series?
Yeah, the entire thing. It's that kind of an after show, and it was actually filmed during from what I know, it was actually filmed during For Your Consideration event by Netflix.
So this is more like a historical docudrama, right? About what story?
Okay, so it's actually a dramatization of the events that happened in 1989 where 4 black men...
The year Taylor Swift was born.
Yeah, 4 black men and 1 Latino. They were accused of raping someone because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And they have been dubbed the Central Park 5. But now they want to be called
the Exonerated 5,
yes,
as mentioned on the Oprah after show.
So it's pretty much like Netflix's answer to Chernobyl, which is released by HBO, and it's still a really good show I'd like to recommend. So yeah, I'm gonna see that soon since I just finished Chernobyl.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you watch it, you will feel really angry, and then especially the fact that since you're watching from the 5 kids' point of view as they're growing up in prison. And then...
How old were they? 18, right?
They were 15. They were
15?
15, 16. And then,
wow,
they had to deal with, very racist prosecutors, policemen, interrogators, like that. Yeah, so like they were literally like words were put into their mouths as they were being interrogated. They were even forced to tape confessions of a crime that themselves confessing to a crime they didn't even commit in the first place.
That's sad. America, do better. Philippines, do better.
Yeah, because,
And which begs to ask the question. Well, not really begs to ask the question, but like, I wonder what kind of series in a historical sense the Philippines could come up with that could have the same effect.
yeah, I mean, I know we have like an animated Netflix original coming up, but then the Philippines need. I'm calling TBA. Like, I hope they do a Netflix original if ever. I mean,
Let's hope for the best. I
Yeah.
mean, TBA's been releasing a lot
yeah,
of
and they
good
haven't done
stuff.
TV, so
Yeah.
yeah, and also like, and also another thing, at least there has been cancel movements ever since the series has been released, which is a good first step. But then like this also serves as like a case study for restorative justice as well.
And it's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just judges, and you know, I mean, at that time they were more racist than they are today.
Yeah.
But I guess this time around, people are more sensitive, but too sensitive. So you know,
Yeah.
we have to balance the scales.
We have got to get better about we have to be better in our discussions on how to improve the world we're living in, especially you know, when dealing with the injustices that the minorities are dealing with on a
And-
day-to-day basis.
Yeah, our love goes to the people of Hong Kong who have been experiencing political turmoil from China
Yeah,
right
also-
now.
yeah, exactly.
And of course, the fishermen in the Philippines, binangga sila ng mga Chinese people. And their ship sank. I was gonna say their sink sank. So yeah, our thoughts and prayers, no shade intended, go to the people of the Philippines because
Thoughts
you
and
know,
prayers with a call to action.
Yes. Sana naman magsalita si Pangulo about this. Kasi there haven't been any statements from Malacanang about the Chinese ships sinking the Philippine ship. So, you know, step up again. I keep on saying this in each episode and it gets worse.
Okay.
So anyway, back to the good vibe of our episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Would you like to plug your graphic design works?
Okay, so thanks Cholo for inviting me. So you can find me at Babble by Kev on Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest also. And you can on my Instagram you can see there my graphic design work, and also my website is bykev.co. My portfolio is design.bykev.co.
So yeah, if you need any graphic design work, you can just message him on Instagram at Babble by Kev or anywhere else he's mentioned. So that is it for our Pop Bite number 3. We hope you enjoyed all this blabber about everything, and we hope you tune in to our next minisode. And our weekly show, of course, is on Radyo Katipunan, and this is streamed everywhere that podcasts are heard, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, and
Roleplay.
everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. And of course, to those people listening on Apple Podcasts, we hope that you do rate and review the show so we can get more ratings and we can get up the charts and be a thing.
Okay.
So thank you so much, everyone, as always, for joining me. I have been your host, Cholo Sediaren, and this has been Popcorn, our Pop Bite minisode. Goodbye.